I love the NBA playoffs.
Fade away, LeBron. Got it! Got it! Big shot by LeBron.
It's during this period that legends are forged and the unforgettable unfolds.
Tatum with a steal. Tatum adds 2 more to it.
This is when some players etch their names in glory, while others become cautionary tales.
Spins on Gallinari, gives it up. Oh, he was right there. And a foul is...
Ladies and gentlemen, I've meticulously examined every superstar entering the 2024 postseason and have uncovered some truly captivating narratives. Will the Defensive Player of the Year be caught off guard like never before? Will Sir Charles recreate his infamous bus driver scene? Could some teams completely fall apart during these crucial weeks? I'm exploring everything today, leaving no stone unturned. So get ready, the show is about to begin and we're on the verge of writing another chapter in history. Since entering the league in 2012, Damian Lillard has been a clutch performer known for his game-deciding shots.
Lillard, long-range three, and it's good!
His remarkable ability has ended the playoff runs of numerous superstars, earning him a place among the top 75 players of all time.
It's Lillard, he got the shot off! Lillard, good! And the Blazers!
Often compared to Steph Curry, there's been ongoing debates among fans. If Lillard and Curry switch teams, some believe it could be Lillard with 4 championship rings instead. Once, Lillard even hinted that a significant factor behind Steph Curry's success was the caliber of teammates surrounding him.
He's saying that it's tough to get those quality looks right now. It's different than what it's looked like, over the last 4 or 5 years for him. So.
In the 2023 offseason, the NBA world was taken aback by the news that Lillard had been traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. This team, anchored by Giannis Antetokounmpo, includes a core group that secured a championship not long ago. From that moment forward, Damian Lillard lost the ability to blame postseason shortcomings on a weak team. Even with Giannis currently nursing a calf injury, expectations for the Bucks remain high. Should they be eliminated by the Pacers in the first round, it would inevitably lead to tough questions about Lillard's true effectiveness and his legacy. Then, when Giannis does return, and should the Bucks fail to at least reach the Western Conference Finals and compete fiercely, what does that say about Lillard's impact? He's finally paired with one of the world's top players, but if they still fall short, it certainly raises questions. Time will reveal the full story, yet Lillard's reputation is undeniably at stake in this year's playoffs. Next, let's talk about Rudy Gobert. He's on the verge of winning his 4th Defensive Player of the Year award, which would tie him with legends like Mutombo and Ben Wallace as one of the NBA's all-time great defenders. Yet, despite these accolades, he often faces criticism throughout the league for being a defensive liability in high-stakes playoff games.
Confusion about that is Rudy Gobert can be Defensive Player of the Year in the regular season and be a defensive liability in the playoffs.
Rudy Gobert is far from being a mediocre player, yet his significant accolades have paradoxically earned him a reputation as overrated. This irony stems from his past playoff performances, where teams have successfully targeted him defensively despite his multiple Defensive Player of the Year awards.
Luka driving against Gobert, takes it inside, and finally draws a foul!
This year, the Timberwolves face the Suns in the first round, and with elite perimeter players like Durant, Booker, and Beal on the roster, Gobert will likely find himself squarely in the crosshairs.
From beyond the arc, they come in number 2 in the league in three-point shooting at the Suns.
Can Gobert prove his defensive mettle and solidify his role as the defensive anchor, or will Phoenix expose his limitations, regulating him to the status of being just a regular season defender? Regardless of what happens, I sincerely wish him the best as he faces this pivotal moment. On the flip side, if the Timberwolves can unite under Edwards and pull off an upset against the Phoenix Suns, it would be a significant blow to Kevin Durant's reputation. Known as the Slim Reaper, Durant has hopped from team to team, attempting to build superstar teams across both conferences, attracting extensive media scrutiny unlike any other modern NBA superstar.
Go buy another house, so I know he's going to probably try to get to a contender. It's easier that way.
Indeed, Sir Charles even dedicated a major TV segment to critiquing Durant's time with Golden State, bluntly stating that Durant has never been the leading force or bus driver of a championship team, essentially questioning his ability to be the alpha who can carry a team to glory. If Durant faces another early playoff exit this year, either in the first or second round, the critiques will only grow louder. This might lead to more probing questions about Durant's true caliber as a player, especially considering his limited success outside of his time with Golden State.
They thought things would be different, but a first-round loss.
Next, let's talk about Joel Embiid. At 30 years old, Embiid is comparatively young, especially when placed alongside seasoned stars like Steph Curry or LeBron James. However, due to his frequent injuries, it almost feels as though he's approaching the twilight of his career.
Embiid loses it, hits the floor, trying to save it.
He's the reigning MVP, and had he played enough games in this season, he was well on his way to securing back-to-back MVP titles. Despite this, his career reputation has followed a path similar to that of Rudy Gobert. Outstanding in the regular season, but underwhelming in the playoffs.
I give him one more trip and I'm getting my guys out. Embiid misses.
For instance, in 2022, he boasted an average of 30 points per game with top-tier efficiency during the regular season. However, once the playoffs kicked in, his output plummeted to 23 points per game, and his efficiency took a significant hit.
With 5, he sees a double team, he steps back, arcs a 3 up, no. Persistent.
This troubling trend continued in 2023. After delivering MVP-caliber performances throughout the regular season, his playoff statistics sharply declined, resulting in some of the most disappointing numbers in recent postseason history. Over the past decade, it's hard to find another superstar who has experienced such a dramatic playoff regression as Embiid. In 2024, while winning a championship might be a tall order, Embiid needs to at least improve his playoff performance and compete fiercely. If he fails to do so, it could seriously tarnish his career. Next, let's turn our attention to the Los Angeles Clippers. A few years ago, Kawhi Leonard dramatically reshaped the NBA landscape with his demands during team contract negotiations. His requests were unlike anything seen before in the league: part ownership of a team, a private plane, a personal house, and a guaranteed amount of endorsement money off the court. In nearly 2 decades of following the NBA, I've never witnessed demands as audacious as these. Beyond these requests, Leonard was also granted special privileges, including personal trainers, control over the team's practice and travel schedules, and the flexibility to live far from the team, often causing him to be late for flights. He was even allowed to select which games he would participate in, a practice that popularized the term load management. As you can see, Kawhi Leonard's demands were off the charts, but what's even more astonishing is that since then, he hasn't delivered anything. In 2020, he famously blew a 3-1 lead as the Nuggets rallied to win in 7 games. The following year, an injury sidelined him during the playoffs. That same injury kept him out the entire 2022 season, and then, in a twist of fate, he was injured again during the 2023 playoffs. Now, imagine if he gets knocked out in the first round by Luka Doncic in 2024.
Doncic pulls up, three-pointer, bang! Bang! It's good! Doncic wins the game at the buzzer!
While this wouldn't end his career, it would certainly dent his legacy. I mean, despite having 2 championships and 2 Finals MVP awards to his name, the vast discrepancy between what he demanded and what he has delivered could ultimately tarnish his reputation. On the other side of the equation, consider Luka Doncic's situation. As a perennial MVP candidate averaging nearly 34 points per game with elite efficiency, now teamed up with one of the greatest guards in NBA history, Kyrie Irving, expectations are sky high. If Luka exits in the first round of the playoffs, especially after missing the postseason just last year, it won't look good. He's still only 25 years old, and it's worth noting that even Michael Jordan didn't win his first championship until he was 28. However, the pressure is mounting. If Luka doesn't make it past the first round this year, the media will likely intensify their scrutiny, questioning his true caliber as an elite player. Now, let's consider LeBron James, should he make it past the play-in tournament. The superstar from LA has undeniably cemented his place in NBA history with 4 championships and the title of the league's all-time leading scorer, achievements that surpass 99.99% of all NBA players have ever managed.
LeBron the other way. Oh my gosh.
At 39 years old, even if he doesn't secure a playoff victory this year, his legacy won't be tarnished. However, there is a scenario where his reputation could take a hit. If the Los Angeles Lakers start racking up postseason wins, primarily because they're getting about 20 more free throws per game, possibly due to excessive flopping by his team and favorable calls from the referees, it could spark outrage.
That's outrageous. What happened tonight, this is completely BS. This is shame.
This perception of unfair advantage could lead to a recency bias that taints his achievements, casting a shadow over his storied career.
I might comment on the free throws that they shot, but my mom is here right now, and I want to be on my best behavior, so I'm not going to comment on the 43 free throws to our 16.
As the old adage goes, Rome wasn't built in a day, but it burned in one. Lastly, let's talk about the Golden State Warriors, assuming they advance from the play-in tournament. Much like LeBron James, the trio of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green won't see their legacies diminished if they don't secure another championship this year. With 4 titles, they have already established themselves as the greatest dynasty in modern NBA history, and nothing can alter that fact.
That'll do it. It's over. The Golden State Warriors return to a familiar place. They're on top of the NBA world.
However, their legacies could potentially be tarnished if Draymond Green loses his temper and repeats past mistakes, such as the incident with Jusuf Nurkic.
Beal just picked up his 3rd foul, and now Green runs over Nurkic, and he'll be called for the foul.
Since his name is permanently linked with Steph's and Klay's, any negative actions on his part could impact all 3. Off the court, Draymond's highly respected, and the same is true most of the time on the court. Yet, as the saying goes, it takes a long time to build a reputation, but it can be destroyed very quickly.
You've got a full-on fracas going on. Draymond came in to defend Klay. This got out of hand very quickly.
On another note, do you know it flew by incredibly quickly? The 2024 NBA regular season. This year was filled with wild moments, but if you're curious about the real insights we've gained from the past several months, you won't want to miss this video here, where I'll be diving deep into the key lessons we've learned this year.